Tyler Gibbons.
What's up?
What's up, man? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. And, we've been following you for a while, obviously with the coffee shop, but also in the tactical space. And so, yeah, it feels good to have a cool little sit down with you.
Yeah, I'm excited as heck to be here.
Yeah.
Obviously, love what you guys do. Been following you for a while, so
Come on.
just excited to be here.
Let's go. So talk to us. What really got you introduced into the tactical space?
Ban social media. I'm just going to be upfront and honest about it. Coming up as a kid, obviously being males, I think we all like playing guns with sticks or, Nerf guns when we're kids and all that other stuff. So I think innately we're just what that is in us. And then as I got older, guns have always been cool. And my experience with guns was very novice. And then I started hanging out with the right group of guys and it all started to click, and now we're training as much as we can and just shooting as many rounds per month as we can.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I think that's such an important facet of this industry and the community aspect. It's like if you can find some like-minded dudes that just love to go train, dude, that's a gold mine. And so guys who want to see you get better too.
Yeah.
All those guys, we obviously know Christian, good friend of yours, and Tanner, all those guys who just are awesome at what they do. And it's cool. Iron sharpens iron.
It does, 100%.
And so that's awesome.
Yeah, in our case, brass sharpens brass.
Hey,
yeah,
there we go. And so, you talk about those guys and just the courses you're taking. We talked about SDI. We talked about Achilles heel tactical.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about that, just going out and getting training. Like, what's that done for you?
Man, it's really changed how I view training. To be fully transparent, I considered myself a pretty decent shooter before I actually started going to real classes. And then I was easily humbled and quickly humbled to know that I suck. I'm not as good as I thought I was. But that's part of humility, right? Is knowing that we can get better and understanding and taking criticism and moving forward, right? So like we went to the SDI class and those guys just broke us down in the best way. It wasn't demeaning or anything like that, but it was like, hey, try this and try this instead. And I know you're fatigued and I know you're tired, and this is 800 rounds later, which is a lot of rounds, especially in a single day. But it was the fundamentals. They broke us down from toe up and to the pinkies, man. I mean, it was just like changing grips.
Wow.
What's target acquisition like? Why are you doing it this way? We'll try, turn down your dot.
Right.
It doesn't have to be that freaking bright, right? And then, getting the pleasure to this year to work with Paul and those guys over at Achilles heel with Ohio Range Day and some of the classes they're going to be doing this year. I'm just super excited, very nervous, to be honest. To get broken down again.
That's cool though. That means you care though. That means that you care and that you're dedicated to this. It's obviously something you put a lot of time into. And so that'll be cool, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Is this your second Ohio Range Day or?
Nope, this will be my first Ohio Range Day.
Really?
Yep. Yeah.
Really? Dang.
Yeah, man, we're going big this year.
Yeah, man, I love seeing the videos. They have like the minigun on the Jeep and stuff, man.
And this year they're doing like so you can do the little bird, and that was an option last year, really? Which is in some of the videos they do, and then now they're doing the maritime, so you can get on a boat, and they're taking you like around this lake, and you get to shoot off of this boat, and it's like in real speed. So I think half the group I'm with signed up for that, and then now we're all trying to convince each other to go on the bird too. So just to get it all in.
That's awesome. It's like when are you gonna do this?
Right. People pay for vacations. Why not pay for something like this?
Exactly.
It's an
experience thing, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, that's cool. Well, dude, I'd love to get into a little bit of your story, man.
Sure.
I mean, you're, we're in Tulsa, Oklahoma, is where Tulster is located, but also your company, Origin Coffee. Man, give us the origin story of Origin, if you would.
Yeah. So the short story is I worked for a corporate company, and I was over it. I was tired of corporate America. I was tired of pushing dollar bills for somebody else and not seeing the full benefit of that. I have kids. And a family, so I was missing a lot of time with my kids. So when we came together at a table And it was just the conversation of, I can do this. COVID had just struck. So times were hard for everybody. And I was like, well, no better time than now.
Yeah. Just to send it.
Yeah, full send. So we took some money out of our savings account, a lot of money out of our savings account, and bought a roaster and started in my garage. Started with e-commerce first, built an online store, started selling bags online, and then started building relationships, and was fortunate enough to see the world of the brick and mortar side.
Man, that's amazing. Yeah, and you've got a really cool spot downtown Tulsa, and it's cool because we see all of your shooting buddies colliding with, the coffee loving crowd of Tulsa, because Tulsa is kind of like a melting pot, as a lot of big cities are. But it's been cool to see that just the like having a place where it's kind of an assembly of different people. That just respect each other, that at the end of the day are just trying to get better. And that's what I see a lot at Origin, is like guys who maybe coming to do graphic design, or guys who maybe just coming to have just a chat, a date maybe, or like Christian working on the business. And so it's cool to have built that kind of community. That
and that's exactly what I wanted. When I started it, it was everybody welcome in mind. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what you're about. Obviously, I'm not going to tolerate racism or anything like that. But the idea, principle is that literally anybody that walks through the door is welcome. And you're going to get treated the same as everybody else. Whether you shoot firearms, you don't shoot firearms, you're an artist or graphic designer, or a police officer or a U.S. Marshal or anything like that. Everybody is welcome.
That's awesome, man. So love it. And so that kind of brings on this topic. We were talking in the studio just a little bit of what would be a good thumbnail, what would be a good title, and the idea that we kind of were landing on is, why does a coffee shop owner need nods? And so something along that. And so it's kind of a good segue a little bit. Talking gear, talking the things that you're building up, whether it's kit. Dude, talk to us about budgeting for that and what that looks like, even just in real world. Like you're a guy who, you obviously had a really great corporate job, coming to the entrepreneurial space. You're like, all right, maybe we tighten our belts for a little bit until we really start kicking it off like you are now. I mean, just talk to us about what that looks like.
I think financially in the kit industry, whether it's a PC, a med kit, a Faraday bags or anything like that, whether application can determine budget, right? So like night vision to a coffee shop owner, is that necessary? No. But I want cool stuff. Right? I want cool stuff. My friends have cool stuff, and not keeping up with the Joneses, but I want to go do cool stuff with my friends. So does it make sense? No, not in that application, but for the training that we do, it does.
Absolutely.
And that transpires into my career and the things that I do. Budget-wise on that, can I suggest night vision to every person on planet Earth? I would love to, but I'm not going to.
Not realistic.
It's not realistic at all. I take my staff in their perspective of what they make per hour and per year, right? So if I was to build kits up based off of their pay and their income, they're not getting night vision. That's just that's the realistic point of view for today in the society that we're in, right? So, but could they afford a really budget-friendly pistol? Yes. What does that pistol look like? Can they carry that every day? 100%. It's free to carry it after you buy it, right? It's no extra charge. There's not a monthly fee on that. And then dry firing, that's free. So that's a huge thing that I'm gonna preach and kind of put out there as well. If you have the money, let's talk. Let's have the chat and get you the best of the best stuff out there. But I don't think there's. Can I suggest a spear as a first rifle? No. I'm going to tell you to go get an arrow lower and maybe a Palmetto Arms upper to start with. I mean, that's what I started with. My trigger was a mil-spec trigger for a full year. And then I realized, okay, I'm not even out shooting this gun, but I can see some hindrances of what that looks like from my training. So then I moved up to the spear.
Yeah.
And it was a game changer for me.
Wow.
So, and now I'll never outshoot that gun.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah,
You know,
most likely.
so most
Yeah.
likely.
That's
So I
cool.
don't know. That's a great question. I think that's a case by case.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, I think so.
In the world we're in right now with firearms specifically, I love that there are a lot of budget friendly options.
Yeah. There is.
You know, from $900 to $1,000 for a pistol does not make sense for everybody.
Right.
You know, I can't tell everybody to go get a Legion or a top tier Springfield or anything like that, but
Yeah.
you can get a Canik.
Absolutely.
You know, you
Absolutely.
can get, and those are great guns
You can
for
get
the
a Glock.
budget.
I
You can
mean,
get a Glock.
yeah.
I'm gonna hate on Glock a little bit, but
Yeah.
no, you know,
That's funny.
they don't make sense for me, but they're great guns
Yeah.
and they shoot every time.
They shoot every time. They're reliable, and I mean that's one thing. I mean, there's such a conversation, and obviously we're in a very opinionated industry.
Sure.
Everybody has the right thing that works for them, and that's what I mean. Like anything in life, it's like you got to find the right formula.
Yeah.
And it's like what fits your hand well. Reliability, obviously. I think value and like price, and basically like, you know, as your price rises, your value rises also. But you get to a point where it's like, okay, price is way up here and value might just be right here.
Yeah.
So is it really worth it to buy at that level? Maybe we could find a really good price with a good value as well.
Yeah.
And so anyways, it's kind of like think of it like as a chart, but it's a topic anybody in this industry needs to be thinking about.
Yeah.
You don't need to go all the way to the side of, you know, it's full kit, helmet, all these things. It's like, man, just start off with the basics.
Yeah.
Get really good at the basics with your carry gun first and foremost. Then graduate to rifle,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and start putting cool stuff on that, you know.
Yeah.
And then you can do hood rat stuff with your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, this is awesome.
That's when you get to come hang out with us
Exactly.
and do hood rat stuff.
Yeah, doing some night shoots, things
Yeah.
like that, man. And so it's a great time. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I love that answer. I love that answer. Another question I had on my mind too was when we talk through like a consistent training regimen, because obviously you're a busy guy.
Yeah.
You've got your business you're running. You've got a family that you lead. Where does training fit into the schedule, and how does somebody who's I've got too much time to train. You know, I can't think of another person that we've interviewed that probably doesn't have a lot of free time like yourself. And so anyways, what makes sense for you training wise?
It's real honest conversations with your family, first and foremost, you know. Is it a weekend training session with the guys? And because we have a standard, right? For our group of guys that I get to shoot with there are standards. So it is my job to make sure I can get to those group shoots and do those things to keep my standard high and also help keep the group standard high, right? Again, that doesn't make sense for a lot of people. Back end work, like I was saying before, dry firing. At home. Kids are asleep, everybody's in bed, and I might be out in the garage or downstairs and all you're hearing is click. Holster slide, click.
Yep.
Holster slide, click. And then it changes to a different part of the house because maybe that room's bigger. And whatever that looks like, or target acquisition. What's my dot doing? And I'm pretty tired today. And I had a really stressful day at the shop and somebody called in sick and I ended up working 8 hours on my feet. And kids to school and everything else like that, and I've also only had a sandwich today. So now what's my dry fire look like? What's my dot doing on an empty stomach at 9:30 at night?
Wow.
You know, stuff like that. So I think there's a level of accountability that comes with training at home. And if somebody says they have too much time, I would say our group would put that to the test, you know, and say, all right, well, let's see what you got. And you're probably not running what you think you would run.
Right.
So there's that accountability aspect of what you are going to make time for. And if it means something to you, and it's a lot, and training in firearms specifically means something to you, and it's something you want to excel at, you're going to find time to train. Even under night vision or low light settings and what that looks like, it's free to dry fire. So
I love that.
So finding a way to make it implement itself into its schedule in your time, it's doable.
Absolutely.
And some of the best guys in the world find time, and they're busy as heck. And
gosh,
they're doing it every day.
If it matters to you, you're gonna make the time
100%.
for it, man. And it's like, it's it's a big responsibility to carry a gun. And obviously there's guys who carry guns professionally, and guys like us who are, putting time in with their carry gun, with the guns that they own.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, you have that with you like all the time. And
hopefully every day.
Yeah, hopefully every day. And so it's like the chances of you using it went up 100% because it's on your person.
Yep.
And even though the chances are still very slim to where you'll have to pull your carry gun and defend a life, they went up 100% because it's on your person.
Yeah.
And so if you're not taking the time to dry fire, to really put in some reps of like, man, like I need to be squared away as possible when I'm implementing, or if I ever have to draw this gun to defend life. And so, that's a great topic. What does my dry fire look like when I'm tired? I like that. I like that a lot.
And it'll tell you a lot.
Yeah.
I have switched up some things, obviously, with Ohio Range Day coming up. The pressure's real. There's a lot of great guys. There's a lot of great trainers out there and coaches, and it's just going to be a riot of a weekend,
For
right?
sure.
So now I've started, when I wake up first thing in the morning, what does that look like? I can dedicate 5 minutes of dry fire to just walking downstairs, drawing from concealment, and really getting a live feedback and being like, I shoot way better tired in the morning than I do tired at night.
That's funny.
So it's like, okay, why?
Yeah.
Why am I shooting better? Okay, well, how much sleep did I get? Okay, so rest really is a truly gaugeable asset, if you will. Or a characteristic in ourselves.
For sure.
And I think a lot of people just kind of sleep on that.
Yeah.
So
Definitely. So talk to me. What's your end goal with training? Like, is there something you're working towards? Like talk about that a little bit.
So the training started off as fun. Just firearms are cool. They go bang and it makes loud noises. And I'm a tiny child at heart. 12-year-old boy living in a 36-year-old body, right? And the vision started to grow. Okay, where do I want to take this? Well, I've really considered being a police officer more than ever. And it's like, okay, well, there are more police officers out there untrained, and that's not a knock on them, but maybe their department can't afford to pay them to go train or whatever that is. Should they be training in their spare time? Yes. I think there's a lot of people on the internet that would agree with that. But can I be an asset to a department if I got hired on? Can I take that knowledge that I have now and bring that to a department that I go to and maybe help save their life, right?
Yeah.
So much now that it's starting to pivot even more. So we're working on establishing a nonprofit against human trafficking. So now where does that come into play? What does that look like? Take the cyber side out of it. If it turns into a situation where we go through all the proper channels and it turns into what we hope it's going to turn into, where does that training come into play for that on a much bigger scale?
Right.
So now it's bigger than me. Now training is much bigger than me. Training as a group is bigger than me. It's now selfless training.
Right.
And what we're trying to establish with that. And so, again, what does that look like to the future of others, not even myself anymore? So, what started out as fun is still fun, obviously.
Always be fun.
It'll always be fun. The gun still goes boom.
Yes.
Even when it doesn't go boom, now it's fun because I'm working through whatever error just happened. Right? And now my brain is firing on all these scenarios.
Right.
Or it's a flawless day and the weather was right and I ran a bill drill perfectly and I'm looking at the homies and I'm like, beat that,
slow
and top
motion,
that, and they're like, okay, whatever, But, and then the realistic side, like you're saying, if I'm in a mall and I've got my kids with me and they need new shoes and something goes down, I'm way more confident today than in myself and the abilities of what that looks like than I was a year and a half ago. So,
that's awesome. I love that. I mean, our slogan is carry with confidence. And that comes, from gear. Like, I think we make a great holster. I'm a little biased in saying that, but I think we make a great holster, but it can't end there. It can't end there. It's got to come from the dry fire, the live rounds, all the things that are feeding into what's a confident carry. And what carry with confidence really means is you're fully confident beyond a shadow of a doubt. And I mean, nobody can be fully ready for when that moment comes. But you have your training, and like you said, you've never been more confident in your carry than you are today. It's because you're probably the best version of yourself as a shooter today. and you're going to be better tomorrow because you are putting in those reps. You are diagnosing trigger pull, grip, all of the sight alignment, all these things. And so, yeah, that's awesome. You touched on something that I do want to talk about, though, and that is the child trafficking, the stance and the stand against that. As Christians and as guys in this industry, even, I mean, that's one of the things that I think that might be the most vile thing that in our world today.
Yeah, I would agree.
And it's something that we obviously all are in opposition of, but I think it's amazing that you've taken such a stand and are even going through channels of starting a nonprofit. And so what really got you there to realize that this is something you want to stand against?
I think just knowing and understanding that it's always been a problem. We have the internet available at our hands way more than we ever did 10 years ago. And 10 years before that, it was nothing. I grew up in the era of video games and dial-up, right? And now I can chat GPT on the fly, right? Obviously having kids kind of changes your perspective on what that can look like. But the more I got into certain elements of life, having in my own business and meeting people and kind of getting some attention pulled in certain areas, I started to notice certain things about people. The corporate job I had before, we started noticing things just because of the company it was. We had to stay vigilant in a way because of what the job was. Now, was it a dangerous job? Sometimes, because that's what it was. But it doesn't, it was so hard because we would see certain things, homeless population, right? We would see a lot of homeless people come in and we still had to take care of them, right? And it was treating people with honor and dignity, first and foremost, and respect at the end of the day, right? And then you find out, well, why did the woman go in the bathroom with that man as long as she did? Well, it's not my job. I can't do anything about it, right? So I had to stay on a corporate level. I had to stop right there. And so that was like, man, that didn't make me feel very good. And I don't know why that happened. And now she's coming out of the bathroom crying. Why is she crying? And why is the man mad? And little things like that started to kind of fester. And then it came into, well, what are we doing as a corporation against things like this? And our values somewhat aligned in that way, but again, corporate entities have jurisdiction. They have a place where they have to stop. And then local authorities and stuff like that kind of take over and do what that is, right? So now having my own business and having my own training and a group of guys I can train with consistently, the focus and the emphasis has come more into that light. And I can't really answer why. Whether it's God himself or whatever that is, as a Christian, I don't know what that is. It's just become more part of who I am. And every day that goes on, I'm like, we're losing. We're losing more ground. We're not gaining what we should be gaining. There's somebody else out there. And then now with the coffee company, I get the privilege of speaking with some farmers in third world countries and countries just around the world, in South America specifically. And you get to chat with them and they'll kind of tell you like little things in Colombia. Like, yeah, you can go over here, but on that other side of the ridge, we don't go over there. And it's like, why not? Well, then they start deep diving why that's the drugs. That's this side of it. Or maybe that's some trafficking happens over there. And you're like, okay, that's on our back door, which we know it's on our back door. It's actually in our country. And it's worse in our country than it's ever been.
We're the number one consumer.
Correct, we are. There's plenty of podcasts and shows that talk about what that is. So what brought that up is now with our training and the things that we're training for, we don't see anybody else doing it. So I've had the privilege to meet with guys, or not meet with them, but talk with guys out of like different states. Some guys in Arizona training with dogs. I'm going to say this name wrong, but Kopfjäger K9. Those guys, Clay out there, they've got their eye on the prize. They're doing great things, and they're also against trafficking. And they're going to hit it at different levels than we're going to be able to hit it at. And the goal is to just be as violent, if that makes sense, and aggressive as possible. And and make this go away.
Yeah.
And we are scared, I think, as a population in society, in America specifically, to talk about those really dirty, nasty things, which is sex trafficking. The pictures aren't great, and the images are awful, and nobody wants to talk about that. We see it every day, right? The news publishes information, and then we see some of that information, and sometimes it's good information, but it's not the worst information we've ever heard, right? Because that wouldn't get views.
Right.
We're trying to break that.
Yeah.
Our whole goal is to bring light to that and honestly scare the heck out of the other side and be like, okay, these guys exist, and what they're doing is fast, and they're ahead of the time. They're using cybersecurity better than anybody we've seen before. And they're putting all the resources in the right place. Well, we can't go to this city anymore because it doesn't make sense. They've got that on lockdown. Okay, well, cool. Don't go to this city either because we also have that on lockdown, and it's not welcome here.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. It's one thing to see it from afar and be like, that's like, I hate that. I wish it wasn't there. It's another thing to get directly involved, and so that's super cool. Kudos to you. And I know you don't do it for the pat on the back, but I mean, it's so cool to see, and so we obviously are in standing with that and want to be involved and hear about everything and see what we can do to help for sure. And so that's awesome. All right, so got your everyday carry right here. Run us through it, tip to butt. What are you rocking?
365 X macro.
Okay.
Obviously SIG. This is probably my favorite gun that I own, believe it or not. Icarus grip module, compensated from the factory, running the Holosun EPS carry, which I love. Enclosed emitter is the way to go, especially for carry. It has the Springer guide rod and spring for the carry options, which has been amazing.
Okay.
And I just can't say enough about how great this gun is. It feels, to me, it feels the best in my hand, especially the Icarus grip. I can do 21 rounds with the extended mag, which is just kind of insane for a double stack carry option.
Definitely.
That's a lot of rounds.
No, they've been killing it with that. Just like I think we talked about it in a video at one point, but just I feel like they're like, how can we make the coolest gun possible, but compact?
Correct.
And high round count. Like it's so cool, but
and I wasn't in the engineering room when they came up with it. But when I had the chance to try the XL, I was like, they almost got it. They almost had it, and then my friend was like, no, try the macro. And I was like, oh, okay, there's another one. And I felt it, and I was like, nope, they did it. And I had to retract the app, and I was like, okay, cool. Well, I want the comp version. Oh, they make it. And I was like, oh, they make a comp version? And then I saw it, and I was like, of course, it looks sexy. And I'm like, okay, well, cool, it looks good too. And it's optic ready right out of the factory. Obviously, it doesn't come with the Icarus grip module. So
you gotta add that on.
You gotta pay money for that. But it makes a world of difference for sure.
Really, that's so cool. It looks cool. We were talking about it back there, and it feels really good in the hands. And the grip for the X macro, it's already great coming out of the box. But man, what a game changer! Just all the right notches in the right places. Got that little built-in gas pedal even, which is nice to have. And so. Man. And then, you're rocking Streamlight, I think.
The TLR7 HLX, which is the newest one from what I understand. So it's slightly longer than the normal TLR7, which, again, I love. Kind of punches out. And the lumens. I don't know the specs. I probably should know that. It's bright. It's
kind of insane.
We were talking earlier. It's brighter than my X300, which is not fun. Why is my carry brighter than my duty gun? It shouldn't be a thing. It exists, but it does. But they make different versions of the X300 for a reason. So that was my novice purchase on the standard X300 there, and moving up in the world now I know what to get and move up from there. So I think Streamlight killed it with this. It is the rechargeable battery, which makes life pretty easy. I've gotten at least a month out of a battery. But this is probably where it's going to sound bad. I don't dry fire enough in low light. So I don't use my light a whole lot.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, it's been great. I love this gun. I will always have this gun.
Yeah.
It's not for sale. It'll never be for sale. I will never give it to anybody.
That's awesome.
When I die, it'll get buried with me, I hope.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, yep, in a Tulster holster.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, with the soft wedge and everything like that, dude. Yeah. Just put it on my casket or however I go. Just know that this is coming with me.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so cool. So you're running SIG for everyday carry. I know you were a big P320 guy, just made the switch to the Springfield Echelon. Talk about a little bit of that transition and what got you there.
So, do we want the why?
I mean, we can go into it.
Sure.
Yeah, we can go into it and just be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, a friend of mine that shoots SIG that we both know, Tanner.
Yeah.
He's a great shooter.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
he was the first. In the group of guys, there was everything from Glock to CZ to SIG to Staccato, the Walther PDP. So I had a chance to feel a lot of these guns. I don't think the PDP was out yet. I didn't know Christian at that point. But I got a chance to feel all these guns, and I was like, this one feels pretty good, but it doesn't. And I came off of the FN 509T.
Okay.
And that thing, not a knock on them again, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
It was all over the place, and the group of guys that I shoot with had a chance, and they were like, not the best gun for you. 2 years later goes by, and now I'm a SIG fan. I'm a Legion guy.
Yeah.
I have the DH3, and I love that gun, which obviously we'll see here in a little bit. And Tanner was the first guy that had the Legion. I believe it was the Legion that he was shooting at the time, and I felt it, and I was like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
This feels really good.
Yeah.
So then I got the 320, the standard 320, I think the M18 or the M17 at the time, and then just kind of did some work on it myself, threw an optic on there, did the Wilson Combat Grip Module, upgraded the guide rod, just little things like that.
Yeah.
And it was good, and it got me really far in my training. And then I felt the Legion again, and I was like, oh, all right, maybe I really like the way this one feels. So I got the X5, had an opportunity to get the DH3, got the DH3, and then unfortunately, with what's going on, I cannot carry the 320 at some classes that I'm going to be attending this year.
Wow. Yeah.
So that forced me to do a pivotal change.
Gotcha.
And the gun that made sense was the Echelon.
Yeah. So talk us through your Echelon. Is it in there, by the way? Or
I do have it.
Okay.
The grip has actually been sent off and getting work.
Oh, sweet.
So I don't have the lower on it, but yeah,
Gotcha.
I have 90% of the gun, I guess.
Yeah. Nice.
So the Echelon was a tough decision because I was almost reverting back. So I was like, okay, I have to go backwards now. I've now built a relationship with this grip on this certain gun, the 320. I know how it shoots. I love the way it shoots. Everything about it just makes sense for me, right? Well, now it's got problems, some areas of it, and what gun is going to get me the closest to what I already love and what that is. So Tanner, again, got the Echelon. Factory, everything. I got to feel it, and I was like, that's actually pretty freaking close.
Yeah.
Icarus does make a grip module for them, and we both have it as well. And then, of course, mine's getting sent off and getting a stippling job and all that stuff from some guys that it's going to be rad.
Cool.
So I bought the comped version of the Echelon, 4.5 full size, which is their full size. So coming from a 5-inch to a 4.5, seeing a 1/2-inch difference already. Lost the weight, so it's not as heavy as a Legion, which I was used to. But again, with the Icarus, you can put the tungsten steel rods or tungsten rods in there and get some of that weight back. It does have the Springer guide rod and spring, which added 50 grams to the front, which made a massive difference. Running an acro on that.
Nice.
And it's honestly been, I hate to say it, it's probably been as good, if not a little bit better in some areas of what that is. So now it's got the trigger in it. Obviously, when I get the grip back, I'll get to put some rounds down with the new trigger. So, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Come on. That's exciting.
Yeah.
We'll have to see that on socials and some range videos for sure.
Yeah, and that's back to the topic earlier, you know, the budget friendliness. You know, the DH3 is $1,300.
Yeah.
I think that doesn't make sense for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But the Echelon from the store is $600.
Yeah. Crazy.
Like, come on.
Yeah, you can put that extra money into the modifications to make it amazing.
Yeah.
And it's still probably going to be cheaper than the stock version of that. And so,
if you take the grip out of it financially, I think I'm $800 into a gun that shoots just as good as my 320. So
there you go, man.
And it's wild. That's just wild to really think about.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm glad that the market's doing what it's doing. I'm glad that these brands are starting to understand what the need is out there and coming off of some of the price points. I obviously understand Staccato. That's a multi-$1,000 gun.
Yes.
It should be. It's a great gun, right? And it does a lot of cool stuff for what it is. But apples and oranges, right? So guys that run Staccatos probably didn't think about a dollar sign.
Yeah.
They weren't thinking budget friendly.
Yeah.
They wanted the best of the best, and they went after what it was.
There you go.
But yeah, I think the Echelon is definitely one of those
That's awesome.
carry options or even full-size options that people can get budget friendly.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. All right. So I like to ask this question. What would you say to anybody who's maybe on the fence of getting a gun or carrying a gun? Maybe they do have a gun and they're just like, I don't know if I can, carry this every day. What would you say to those people who are, needing maybe a little push off the sidelines and into, this lifestyle that we love?
I think the unfortunate truth is society isn't getting much better, and people are willing to take more advantage of you than they were 10 years ago. So that kind of forces this on us a little bit more, right? The amount of people that don't carry versus carry is far larger. And as a responsible gun owner, I want you to be responsible as well. I want you to get training. That's where I'm going to plug in, guys like Christian who offer classes and go take the classes and get comfortable with the gun. Is it scary? 100%. Can this thing kill you? Without a doubt. Its sole purpose is to protect, kill, and do its job, right? And they're really great at doing those things, right? But I think to get confident in your firearm is going to take away a lot of that anxiety. It can make people around you nervous, which makes you nervous. And then, like, I use my coffee shop as a prime example. We get tons of people that come in that maybe don't agree with the Second Amendment right, or the fact that I carry a firearm, right? And it's probably a pretty equal split between guys that come in and carry and guys that come in and don't. Or maybe even a little bit against what this is. And that's what's been great about that is I shine light on that. They have no idea. They love who I am. They trust who I am. And I'm like, you have no idea that I'm carrying a firearm right here. For myself, yes, but for you as well. If some person comes through that door and starts raising hell or has a problem, we're in North Tulsa, essentially. And historically, that's been known to have some bad spots, some bad apples here and there.
For sure.
So I would rather have it than not have it. Kind of what we talked about earlier. We won't go into that whole thing or we'll mess up the sentence.
Then need it and not have it.
Need it and not have it, yes. So I think just be confident. If you're willing to buy it, start training with it. That's the best thing you can do. Dry fire is free. YouTube is free now. Get on YouTube. Look up shooters. I mean, there's tons of guys out there. Some of them I don't agree with, but who cares? If it gets confidence under your belt, just go watch the videos. Get you a great holster. Go to Tulster or a local owned company. Like, come on. Like,
do it.
And your stuff is affordable. Like, that's the other thing too, is like, you don't have to go buy a $250 holster and a $9,000 gun. That doesn't make sense. Your gun can be $500 and your holster can be $100. That's going to do the same thing you need it to do. Training is the dividing part from that. It's what separates you from everybody else. So get confident. Just gain the confidence. Find guys that you can shoot with, or women. Go find a group of girls that wants to go shooting, or has a husband that is willing to teach you to shoot and wants you to be confident and wants you to be safe. They exist. There's communities out there that do that, and most of the time, you don't even know they shoot until they tell you they shoot, or you start talking about guns, and you're like, oh, you're into guns too? I didn't know you were into guns. Well, I just carry one because you know I have kids and we're in a van and we go to school drop-off lines, and I just want to be safe. That's all we're trying to do too. We want you to be safe. I want you to be confident in what that is. So carry with confidence.
Come on now. Carry with confidence. I love it. Tyler, thank you so much.
Of course, man.
We appreciate you.